Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Happy Friday. And if you can hear us and you can see us, give us a thumbs up. And of course, make sure you tell us where you're from, what your name is. Anna's over here. She's going to read out some of you, give some shout outs. So let us know where you're watching from. So Megan's here with me today again because we like doing this together.
Yeah,
I had to
it's
drag
fun.
her. Whoops, I had to drag her here at first, but I think she's now started. Right? You're starting to like it. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited about this project today.
Yeah, this is such a good project.
It is, and I am a huge orchid fan, and I have had orchids in my home for a very long time. Although I haven't lately. I don't have a room right now. I have so many crepe paper flowers. So I wanted to make this beautiful orchid plant and just show you guys how we can, get beyond just a flower and make it into a plant and make it into, something that you could set on a table or give as a gift. It's just, I don't know, it's one of the most beautiful things. And you know what, I think one of the things about orchids, people are afraid to have them in their homes because they're afraid they're hard. They seem fussy.
I don't have any.
Right? And you're a plant person, right? But they're actually not fussy. They're easy to take care of. That's why I can take care of them, because I have a brown thumb. But, that being said, having this beautiful crepe paper orchid, it looks sculptural. It looks so real.
It does look
So I think
very
it's kind of
real.
the best of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple things. We are actually doing a giveaway today, like we love to do. So today we're going to do a giveaway. We're actually getting these two hot glue guns in our shop. So this is the high temperature, and this is the low temperature, and we're really enjoying the Surebonder brand. We did a lot of research, and this is probably my favorite just because it has such a fine point on it, and I'm wishing this one did as well. But these, to have both of these on hand is great. So we're going to do a giveaway, and the person who wins will get both of these. So remember, write this down. Do hashtag made with Leah and hashtag member make. Sometimes we throw August or no, just member make. Hashtag member make. Yep. And make sure you tag both of those when you post your orchid, and we'll pick a winner to win both of these hot glue guns. Yay! Yeah. So one more thing too. Just wanted to announce, we've been talking about it a lot, and it got a bit delayed, and things happen. So we have a beautiful craft camp box out there, and it has 4 projects. We have 2 felt projects. We have the flamingo, and then the cup cozy. Yep. And Megan made a lot of this stuff. She helped make it happen. Yeah. And then we have a crepe paper head wreath and a crepe paper lei. And it's really kind of focused for tweens. That was our target audience because we see a real need for that. So it's for sale now. And the cool thing is, if you're a member, you guys get the discount. You're only paying for the product. And it comes with every single material that you need. And then all the videos, there's a whole video school tutorial on every single project. And it's so much fun for the kids. I had 2 girls here filming with me, and we had a blast.
Adorable.
She was in Thailand when this all happened, so she got to
I missed all the filming and the production part of it.
Yeah. So those are for sale, and we only have a few. We're just doing a short run just to test it out. So if you want one, make sure and go get one because they're going to be gone really soon. Yeah. So let's get started with this orchid. Yeah. So Megan did such a great job of putting this pattern together. There's actually 3 pages. Yep. So
all the things.
Yeah. So we have different sizes. We have 2 different sizes of these.
Of flowers. Yep.
And then what do we have?
And then we have a couple different sizes for buds as well. We have 3 different sizes for buds.
Right. So, as we were making this, we were just kind of like, well, how many should we put on? And, so we just kind of did it by eye. And you can decide how many buds and how many blooms you want.
Totally
and the other part, too, is we made this, and it took time, but I don't think it was a really complicated flower. So today we're making a second stem that's going to go in here as well. So this will be a double-stemmed orchid, which are the ones I always try to buy when I'm buying, is that they have 2 stems and they have a lot of buds. You can decide how many of each you want.
Yeah, it's
very flexible.
Whatever look you're going for, however big you'd like to make it.
So we have 3 pages of templates, and the last one is leaf. So tell us, what paper are we using today?
So today for the flowers, we're going to be using the double-sided, the white and vanilla. And
this
then
one?
for the leaves, we're going to be using double-sided as well, and we decided to use the fern, green tea and cypress.
Green tea and cypress. So it's the light on one side, dark.
Yeah, only because we don't use this color as much, and so I figured we're going to be Mod Podging these together, and so you're not even going to see that lighter color green, so I was like, might as well use the colors we don't use as often for these guys.
And then
for the buds, we are using extra fine crepe paper for all of them, and you're going to use the color Fern and Vanilla.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. And of course, you know, we did the white orchids. You can choose a different color palette if you want to.
We've done purple before, and
yeah. All right.
They come in all sorts of colors.
You have your pattern. Yep. You have the SVG cut file if you want to cut it on your cutting machine. Everything's cut out. We're going to pretend some of you may have already cut them out. So let's get going.
Yeah, let's get going. So you're going to start out with your cutout, and we're going to start with our centerpiece. And we just used art markers to color a little pattern on here. We'll be sure to throw a photo of like a close-up of it, so they can see.
Yeah, that was another thing
how
too.
It's like
I wanted to mention to you guys too that the photos that we put up today on the post, we're going to update those once we get the second one in. So even if you go and look at the post today, make sure and check back later today or even early tomorrow, and I'll have detail shots as well as the full finished piece. So yeah.
All right, so we're gonna use 3 different colors of markers, and the first one I started with is buttercream, and we like the Blick Studio markers. Sometimes we use Copic. It just depends on the colors we can find. And let's see, I can use this paper to kind of color on.
Make sure your hot glue gun is on. Yes, it is. Okay.
It is. All right, so with the yellow, we're just gonna color like a base. Let's see. And I started out drawing a W. Let's see, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this very well. And there, how there's a W, and I'm gonna fill that in, the top part of the W in. So it looks like this. All right, and then we are going to do, let me see.
Megan was at the flower market. Megan was at the flower market a couple of days ago looking at orchids.
I was, yeah. Trying to mimic that color. Okay, and then you're going to do another W right above it and fill that one in as well. So you end up with this, I don't know what shape to call it.
Yep.
We have a first question. Did you hand cut these, or did you cut them on a machine?
We cut them on the Cricut Maker.
Yep.
But you can definitely hand cut.
You can definitely
yeah, this is a really easy project to hand cut. The only part that's a little complicated is the center, but it's not
And you know
too
what
bad.
I would do with the center too is I would fold it in half, because that's a much easier hand cut. And I would also use little tiny scissors, right? So.
And then you're going to take your light green marker, and I just put a couple, just to highlight a couple points in green so it's not just so flat and yellow.
We do have a really quick question. Do you color on the white or the vanilla side?
I am coloring on the white side of the
so
paper.
all of our orchid faces are on the white with the vanilla on the back side.
This is super
super what? You just lost your words.
I just lost my train of thought.
It's super cool. There we go.
It's real cool.
Super easy.
Yeah, it's really easy
fun.
to color in.
We'll just fill in the blank.
And then you're going to take your pink marker, and we're just going to do a couple dots down at the base here. Just to kind of give it a little more detail, a little pop of color. And just like, if you can see that.
There we go.
There it goes.
Perfect.
Yep, and so we got that done, and now we're going to take your center, and you're going to take all of your petals, and on the white side of your crepe, you're going to Mod Podge over them. And we've already Mod Podged over all of ours.
It takes well
because it takes a little bit to dry, and we don't want to sit here and watch Mod
Talk
Podge
about
dry.
things we forget. I don't know.
Yeah.
Watch Mod Podge dry. That
Yep.
should be it. Yeah, that should be a new hashtag.
We used a matte Mod Podge. It's a little bit glossy. You can also use a gloss Mod Podge.
I would
just
say
to
matte.
give it like a really nice sheen.
I think matte works for me because orchids aren't really glossy.
Yeah.
So that's why I would do it.
That's right. And so we only Mod Podged the white side. Don't Mod Podge the back because I found that
show them.
it made it a little too hard to shape the petals.
They become stiff. I don't know if you can see this close up. So this is the unMod Podge, which this would go away, the wrinkle, and then here's the Mod Podge. I don't know if you guys can see it.
There's a little bit of a sheen.
A little bit more sheen.
Mm-hmm.
And it does shape a bit, which will continue to shape them.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
So after you've had, we can do this together now.
Okay. Now.
After you have everything Mod Podge, make sure you Mod Podge. I don't know if I said that. Mod Podge your center. Mod Podge the colored side of your center.
Right. So we have one center, and then we have 3 of these smaller pieces.
Yep.
And then 2 of the larger pieces.
2 large ones.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And so you're gonna start out by folding your petals in half, all of them. And I like
folding them back.
You're folding them backwards.
Yes.
Back,
okay.
so that the Mod Podge is facing out.
Okay.
And I like to use my curling tool to kind of really get that crease in there to show that fold line. You're going to do that to all your petals.
You do it to the small ones as well as the large ones?
Yep.
Okay. Can you tell Megan made these? I came in at the end.
She put the...
I assembled.
You put the plant together and made it look finished.
I'm excited to be making this one.
I think that maybe we should make it a team thing. We
Oh,
should all make our own orchid
We should
plant.
all make our own,
Yeah.
so you have one to take home.
Yes.
All right, after we have folded all of these, you're gonna stretch and cup your orchid just right in the center where that crease is, all the way out to the sides.
I'm hearing little pops in there.
Yeah, it kind of, start hearing the Mod Podge start to break apart a little bit. And once you've cupped it, you're gonna fold it. Uh-oh.
I ripped it. All right, don't do
Stretch
this.
very gently.
Don't do this. Oops. I'm going to have to replace that, but for now I'm just going to continue.
We're good.
Okay.
We have another one right here. We can Mod Podge over it real quick.
I'll fix it later.
Yeah. And so after you've cupped it, you're going to fold it back in half again along that crease so that you just have this nice shape. And after you've done that, you're going to take your curling tool, and I think we curled the edges of these out just a little bit.
We did. Mm-hmm. Just to give it a bit of a cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to really examine the orchid plant, the orchid bloom.
The movement in the petals.
Because it has this little tiny curl right here. You can even go all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this to all of our petals.
Mm-hmm. Anna, while we're doing this, why don't you tell us who's watching today and where they're from?
Yeah, so we have both Sue and Gail watching from a rainy UK.
Oh, yay! Hello,
I
UK.
know, yes. Susan's watching from San Francisco.
Hello, Susan.
Hello.
We have viewers turning in from Arkansas, Michigan, Ohio, Grants Pass, Oregon, which is just around the corner from us. So yeah, it's a nice group joining us today.
I know we're at the end of summer. I can't believe kids are going back to school, and I'm sure there's a lot of people doing their last minute vacations.
Yep.
I'm kind of wishing I was doing that, but that's all right.
Right.
Yeah, this is sort of fun curling these Mod Podged petals.
They really hold their shape well once you get them how you like it.
Nice.
It's nice. And then we're going to take our center, and to shape that, we're also just going to cup the center of it a little bit so that it curls inward towards where you colored it. And be very gentle with this piece. You don't want to rip it. once you've done that a little bit, it's very slight. You aren't going to see much of a cup.
Right.
You're going to take your curling tool and curl in the little arms, I guess.
If any of you hear a little rumble going on in the background, it's Enzo snoring. Just he's right under the table here. Just thought you might want to know. And then what do we do with these little guys?
All right, and we are gonna curl the top parts down and in.
Okay.
Yep.
So they're all kind of curled towards each other.
Yeah, everything's curled towards each other.
And it's okay if these side ones stretch a bit too. I noticed when I was working on the orchid because they are actually they can be longer or shorter, either way.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Once that's all done, you're going to take a piece of wire that we're going to clip off. Say probably like 4 inches or so.
Okay.
Piece.
So 4-inch wire. We want enough so that we can, we're gonna, add them to this whole stem. There we go. So each of the blooms has a stem on it. You don't want it too short, and I would say go longer than shorter. Because let's see, I'll turn around the back. You can see here, there's at least maybe 2.5 inches right here. So I would say 4 minimum.
Yeah. All right, and we're going to use hot glue. We have plugged in both of our hot glue guns because with this project,
you could use either one.
You could use either one. And we're going to start with our centerpiece and just apply a little bit of glue to the base.
These are brand new.
They're brand new. Gotta pump it a little. Do we have another hot glue stick over there?
Yep.
This is pumped all the way in. Thank you. Alright, so apply a little bit of glue to the base of your center, and then you're just gonna glue it to the tip of your wire. Yep. So it's just like that.
Hello.
Alright. Now we're gonna take our 2 large petals, and we're gonna glue these to either side of the center piece.
So going this direction, kind of sandwich it.
Okay. Yep.
We have a question. Did you Mod Podge all of the petals or just the rounded big ones?
We Mod Podged all of them. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, here's this, my little sandwich center.
Alright, so after you, it's about what it should look like. And then after that, you're going to take your 3 smaller petals, and we're going to glue one, and it's really important what side you glue one to. So you have to pay attention to what way the center is facing.
So the center, it should think of it as like a little tongue sticking out. So the bottom piece is the tongue, and you want the tongue facing down. So your top piece, the center, needs to be there, and then these other 2 will come out on the side below.
Yep. I'm gluing petals to my fingers instead of to the power right now.
I'm also finding, you can glue a little bit onto the petal beyond the piece. I think it helps secure it more and holds it into place if you add just a bit of glue onto the actual petal. So I'm pressing that right on top here, and then I'll kind of do the same. And when I went back, I actually kind of glued some of the backs of the petals to each other,
just so they had a little more structure.
Yeah, to hold it in place. But we'll do that at the end.
Yep.
Okay, so now these other 2 pieces.
Yep. feel like you should be looking at hers right now because she's doing a better job than I am. I'm like getting my
That's
glue
what I mean.
all
She's
over
a
the
fast
place. I'm
learner.
like, she's just
I'm a fast learner.
going for it.
I'm going for it.
We do have some
No,
questions
that's
about the craft camp. I don't know if you want to
Sure.
let people know that there are some bonuses in there, right? Some techniques and.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
So the craft camp, you know, we have the 4 projects, and we actually go through each project step by step through video with the girls, and then, you know, each of the projects that we do, we go through and talk about, you know, how to do certain stitches or how to cut crepe paper. So we're giving very definite techniques to these young girls or boys or whoever's watching. It could be anyone. I think they're great adult crafts too.
Mhm.
We don't, you know, they're easy enough for the kids to do, but I think anyone can make them. So that's what's so cool about it. And we also have some fun, I would say, tools that we've thrown in. Like we have a needle threader in there, and we have these cute little clips that I've been using a lot to hold your felt and your paper. But just so much fun. And even if you get it and give it as a gift for Christmas, what a perfect gift. Okay, here's my orchid. Any other questions on that, Anna, or did I cover pretty well? All right, so now I'm going to sort of glue some of these petals. I'm just going to add a touch of glue on the top of this one here, and I just don't want it to hang down too much, so I'm just going to tack it right on the back. Not too tightly, it's very loose, so that it just helps secure that. You can see my little tear here, but it really doesn't even,
Yeah,
I can't
you
even
really
see it.
don't notice it much.
Yeah. And then the same thing if you want to tack these down to keep them in position, but I think they look okay, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
And one of the things I noted is I got a bit globby on the back here. My glue hardened too quickly, so it's a bit tight. I mean, a bit bulky. That's what I really meant to say. So I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to try it. I'm taking my scissors here and just cutting off some of the bulk so that it has a smoother transition. So I think try to be mindful of that when you're putting your petals on, to use as little glue as possible right around that base so that you don't make it too thick. That's one of the joys of hot glue, right?
Yeah.
It can get thick.
That is, yeah, it can. That is one reason why we do use tacky glue.
Sometimes I would
flowers
use tacky
occasionally.
glue on this one because you need it to dry fast.
Exactly.
We do have a question if we should Mod Podge both sides of the petal.
No, I would suggest not. I found when I did Mod Podge both sides of the petal, it made it really hard to form and shape the petals. It made it just a little bit too strong.
Thick, yeah.
So just Mod Podging the one side that is showing.
So, and
the
that's
flower?
the white side.
Yes,
Yes.
it's going to be the white side.
And honestly, you could do if you
the
ended
cream.
up with the cream side, that's fine too. You know,
Yeah.
orchids come in all different colors.
I know, we have some other colors that are being made right now.
Yay! I can't wait
So
to see
can't
them.
wait to see them, yes.
Also, one of the things I was thinking when I was making this, putting this all together, is how beautiful this would be in a bridal bouquet.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hanging out. You could have a couple stems hanging out of your bridal bouquet.
Yeah,
So pretty.
gorgeous.
All right, I'm done.
All right, perfect.
Are we making?
We
You're
can-
making
I'm
another one.
starting
Okay,
on the
cool.
other one so that we can build the whole thing.
Okay, so while you're doing that, do you want me to show
We
them
can
how
do
to do
buds.
the buds?
Yeah. So remember we started with one
How about
long
you do the
wire.
buds and I'll finish this?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right, so you're gonna start with one long 18 gauge wire, and you want to keep it the full length because we're gonna use this as our base to start attaching the flowers to and the other buds too. And so we're going to take a small, one of the 1/4 inch wooden beads, and we're gonna glue this to the tip of our wire. And I do that by just putting a little bit of hot glue in the middle. There it goes. I have like a new stick and it's taking
I
a little
add
while.
a little bit of glue on the stick.
Yeah.
To keep it from falling out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's one of my tricks too.
Yep.
From where I learned it from.
Alright, so put a little glue in
Yeah.
there, and then you're just going to stick your wire in there and let it dry. So these small wooden beads are going to make the small green buds. And so we're going to take 4.
And no Mod Podge on these.
No Mod Podge on these. Nope. We're going to take 4 of the small green bud petals. And you're just going to cup those with your fingers ever so slightly. Super gentle. And with these we are going to use the tacky glue to attach these so that we don't get that bulk of the hot glue.
We have a question. If you're using a darker color of crepe, how would you suggest drawing the design on the centerpiece? So for instance, the aubergine would be a really pretty color.
I would use paint. Yeah. Because you
use paint instead.
Yeah, use an opaque acrylic paint and just go in there and paint it. What a great idea, because you want, sometimes they have that little spark of pale green inside, and you can just reverse it out. What a fun painting project.
Yeah.
Right?
Alright, so we're going to take our tacky glue, and you're just going to apply tacky glue to the bottom of the petal, just along the bottom edge. We don't want to use too much, otherwise the crepe can get a little soggy. So you want to be really light-handed with your glue application.
Sometimes it works to put glue in a bowl too, and just use your finger or use something else. You can control it a bit better that way.
And you're gonna put it around the bead, and you want to stretch the crepe around the bead as you're gluing it on there. So that first petal is gonna end up and bend it just like that. And then we're going to continue adding the other 3 petals, just layered around the bead in the same way.
I'm watching you with one eye.
So you're just going to slightly layer them as you go around. So it'll take all 4 of your bud petals to cover the entire bead. Alright, last one.
One of the ways that I decide which live orchid plant to buy is how many buds it has. Because I don't want to buy them completely all open. It means it's an older orchid.
Okay.
So and also I think on this crepe orchid it just looks so pretty to have the different sizes and colors up here. Oh yeah, I was going to move this down so we could see it a little better because it's so tall.
There we go.
Is that helpful? Hello, how are you today? Happy Friday to you too. I talk to my plants.
Alright, once you've finished your green bud, you can move on and start making the next size up. And we decided to do the next one in the vanilla color. And you're just going to take another probably 3 or 4 inch piece of wire. And I'm going to do this one around a small bead as well. I need to do the glue trick. Thought I was going to catch it.
Yeah, watch this. It's very clever.
Melt the top of your glue gun a little bit, or put a little dab of glue on the top of your next glue gun. And then you stick it in so that it glues to your other glue stick.
Yeah.
Alright.
Megan, if it makes you feel any better, I've been gluing these the wrong direction. So
you have? Did you have to take them off and go again?
I did. Just paying attention. It's because I'm trying to watch you.
Doing too many things at once. All right.
I know. I have to admit to Noelle, who's said earlier, welcome to what I do every time I make a flower.
Oh.
Referring to the ripping.
Yep.
No need to worry, Noelle, so do we.
So do we.
It's trial and error.
And hi, Noelle. Nice to see you.
And we have a question actually from Noelle. Is that glue gun a high temp short bonder? If so, does it have a special tip?
This one's low temp, and this one's the high temp.
Yep.
And we wish that both of them had this tip. And yes, it has a very fine pointed tip. And I don't remember the model. They have a lot of models, and some of them look the same. But we will be selling this one in our shop, and we'll have a link for it below when we're done, or it's probably on the site.
So it sounds like they'll be in our shop towards the end of next week.
Towards the end of next week, right. So we're trying to become a one-stop shop for you guys.
Yeah.
So if you have other things you want us to carry, let us know. We're always looking for new things, and we have a bunch coming.
Yeah. All right.
While you're finishing those buds, I'm going to tell them what I'm going to do here.
Yeah.
So
Go for it.
in order to get these prepared to put them on a stem, what works best is to cover them with floral tape. Now, if you don't have to use, you could use crepe paper if you want to, because I know that is one technique of using crepe paper strips rather than floral tape. I'm using floral tape on this because as I'm attaching everything together here on the stem, let's see, there we go. You really cannot use the crepe paper effectively. Now I say this, but if one of you can do it, please let us know, okay? Make me wrong here. As you're attaching all of these and you're attaching wire to wire, it works best with the floral tape because it's really sticky, where I found that using crepe paper just wouldn't hold enough. So that's why I'm using this floral tape. And this is moss. Fern. Okay, don't listen to me. Listen to Anna. This is fern, and it's our lightest color. So I'm going ahead and wrapping the whole stem all the way to the top and wrapping it. And I'm trying to merge this bump so that it's not quite as bumpy. So I might even go back and apply a bit more floral tape right there to make it smoother. And I'm doing this to all the buds and all the blooms, everything.
So I just want to do a little shout out to all of our members and thank you for tuning in and for all your sweet messages. And I wanted to read this one from Kotu. Leah, hello from Austin. This is my first live with y'all. Having a busy day, but taking the time to watch it, I'm noting myself feeling much calmer, more grounded.
Oh,
thank you both. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining. We love it when new people come in.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much fun.
Yeah.
Every month doing these. And we have so much
creating.
fun watching you guys create your beautiful creations.
Yes.
That makes us even happier.
My favorite part is seeing what everyone else has made.
Yeah. You guys teach us too. I want you to know that. We learn a lot from you. Okay. So everybody knows how to use floral tape out there? Do we need any tips on floral tape application? I think you guys are pretty advanced by now.
Yeah. If not, we
If not,
we have a video on
We do
how
have a
to
video.
use floral tape.
I keep picking up that one.
Alright, and so now I'm making the last bud, which I used one of our cotton spun balls for, our small size. And I glued that to the tip of a wire, and now I'm putting the largest bud petals around this one. And I'm doing this in the same color as the orchids, because then it kind of looks like a flower that
It's starting
is
to
about,
bud.
yeah, it's about ready to bloom.
Yeah. I'm going to do the buds now. Here, I'll peek over so you,
Yeah.
you can see what both of us are doing here. All right. I love it. The crepe paper and the floral tape are pretty much the same color. So it makes a really nice transition.
All right, we have a little shout out from Brittany. From
Brittany.
Janet. A shout out to whoever is filming. The details are really clear in the close-ups.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Brittany.
Thank you.
We've been working on making this perfect for you guys. Yeah,
I'm hoping it's getting better every
we do.
go. Here.
You want to help me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a little floral tape. So yeah, we're covering the bud stems.
And I'm covering just a little tiny bit of the white there. And all right. So I'm going to let you finish that and I'll start assembling. But one of the things that I noted when I was working on putting the whole stem together, it works really well to use my needle nose pliers. And oftentimes I want to curl the heads out because that would be a natural formation of an orchid. So I'm just very, very gently bringing the head out, and I'll do that to pretty much all of the buds and the blooms. Here, let me grab you another one so you can do it with me. We have a table of tools behind me. So that helps to just kind of start that process. And the buds, and the thing about the flowers themselves is you can move the heads around once it's on, and don't worry about them being exact until you have it complete, and then you can move them around a bit. But having that extra curl to start helps. Okay, so you can rotate it. You can rotate the stem.
Spin them around.
Yep. So you're gonna watch me do this?
I'm gonna show them.
Oh yeah, do the
we
leaf.
have
Okay.
to do the leaves at some point, but
Let's do the leaves
they
next.
need. Yeah, let's do the leaves next. And then we'll do
We're
the
not
rest.
really doing. We're
Put the
just showing
rest
you
of-
what we do.
Yeah, we're just gonna show you. We're not actually gonna Mod Podge because we don't want to sit and watch it dry. But for these leaves, we did 4 layers of crepe paper to make that really thick, kind of spongy texture that real orchid leaves have.
Yeah, and I think that you did a good job. Yeah. And you put it on an 18 gauge wire so it sticks into the foam really well.
It sticks in there. So you're gonna pre-cut out your leaf shapes, and you are going to the light colored green side, you're gonna apply Mod Podge. Pretend here, and you're gonna place your 18 gauge wire right down the center, and you're gonna take another
and quite far, like you want the wire
pretty far up so that you have the full length of that leaf can bend. And you're gonna place a second layer right on top. And you're just gonna line it up and really allow this to dry before you start again, because if you go to add Mod Podge on when there's still wet Mod Podge underneath, it's gonna get a little soggy, maybe a little ripply.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna look quite as smooth as it could. So you're gonna do 1 layer and you're gonna let this dry. I would say only like 15 minutes. It doesn't take that long. You just need it to start drying a little bit.
And you can even bring out your your blow dryer.
Lay them outside.
Yep.
I don't know, whatever.
In the
And once this is dry, you're going to apply Mod Podge to one side again to your wired leaf.
Okay.
And then we're gonna lay it on top. I'm pretending over here. And we're going to let this dry a little bit. You don't have to let this layer dry as much. And you're gonna flip it over. And you're gonna do the same thing. And you're gonna lay your second side down. And then
once it's dry,
so I'm gonna take this leaf to show. You may not have lined everything up perfectly. And that's totally normal. Like I didn't line everything up perfectly when I did it. And so once it was dry, I actually cut that unfinished edge to make it a little bit smoother, and then I just applied Mod Podge around the edge again
to seal it
in. Yep.
Perfect.
And so
it's a great looking leaf.
A great shiny orchid leaf.
Okay. I like it.
Easy.
So shall we assemble the whole thing now?
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking here. So those I don't have bent out quite as much, but it's nice to have that the bigger bend because you can always unbend it. So I'm starting with just the 2, and I'm giving it some space, so I'm not doing it all the way to the head. And we'll go ahead and wrap that. I usually like to use shorter. How are we doing on time, Anna?
It's a little easier to work with.
We are doing great. It's 11:40.
Okay, so we have about 15 minutes to finish this up. I'm going down about 1 inch, and then I'm laying the other one in, and you can space them as you go. Actually, I think I'm going to give that a bit more space there.
So I have a question. What are you making next month for Member May?
We haven't decided yet.
We haven't.
Yeah. So this would be September.
Mm-hmm.
We're throwing it out to you guys.
wanna
What do you want to
Send
see?
some requests.
Should we do? Well, we've already done a sunflower. Are there any fall flowers that we need to do? Should we attempt our best dahlia yet? Because we haven't really mastered the dahlia.
We haven't done a crepe paper dahlia in a long time.
We haven't, and
that might end up being a 2-hour video.
It might be, because there's a lot of petals.
Yeah.
All right, so let me see. I'm just kind of looking and seeing where I did there. All right, so I'm going to add my, you can see how I want to make sure these all show. So here's my small. And as the tape breaks, that's okay. Just keep going. And then the second small, I'm going to go further. I don't want to crowd their heads too much, so I like to give a bit of space between. Look how easy this is. And again, don't worry about which way they're facing, because we'll rotate those.
You can like spin them around.
Yep. And here's our, we're doing 6 on this. We're doing 3 buds and three blooms. Okay, and then to finish this up, I'm going to go ahead and tape all the wire.
All right, so since we did put it out there, we have a
All right.
lot of votes for dahlias.
Oh! Do you guys?
What
Okay,
have you
so
done?
We
here's
also have some suggestions for tiger lilies, some type of vine, Japanese lanterns.
okay. We have actually done a tiger lily as a member make, and it's there for you guys. If you don't know where it is, let us know, and we'll point you to it. But I think honestly we need to take the challenge of the dahlia. But here's a question for you: do you guys want a simple, easy peasy dahlia, or well, is there even a such thing as that? I don't know.
I think there is. There's ones that have larger, less petals.
Okay, or do you want us to do the best dahlia we can possibly birth? I don't know. Tell us what you want.
Let us know.
Okay, I didn't even say what I'm doing here. So I have this stem here. This is one of our stem wires that we love to point you guys to, that has the paper cover and the padding on it. It's an 18 gauge, but it is thicker. So I've just placed that underneath the biggest bud, and I'm just bringing it right on to the rest of the stem. Okay. Anna, any comments over there?
Anyone sending in photos?
What
dahlia they want us to do?
Someone suggested a bougainvillea.
A bougainvillea? Yeah. I don't know how, we always called it bougainvillea. I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it, because I'm not the best at that. Okay. So here we are. Let's assemble this baby. So let me tell you what I did. I went ahead, you know how much we don't love foam. But that being said, we're having a hard time figuring out the best way to fill our vases without using foam.
Yeah.
So this is just the styrofoam, the loose styrofoam. However, I wanted you to tell them what you did with those paper plants that you made, because it's really clever. It is still foam, but it's still really clever.
I had to make some paper plants for a big project, and to fill...
Can you tell them where they went?
Yeah, I guess. I did a bunch of paper plants for Dropbox's new office.
In San Francisco.
In San Francisco. And it was a really fun project, and it was a lot.
We have some of those plants coming to our site.
Yes, we do. We have some new plants coming to our website that I made for them. But I had to pop them. And buying floral foam is a little bit expensive, and it doesn't hold super great long term. And so I discovered that using I'm trying to think what it's called, the foam sealant that expands, that you would use to seal like cracks or
in your home.
I
Right.
sprayed into the pots and let it expand, and then they're able to put the plants into the foam.
Yeah.
And
So that's an idea if you're doing a big project.
Yeah.
And
it's
it also
a very
would
cheap
fill
way.
It would also fill the container versus I put one ball inside, and then I had to take another half and put it on top, and then I just put some of this moss. So
yeah, it expands a little more than 50%, so you end up only filling it up not even halfway, and then you have a whole pot of foam. And I think yeah, I only had to buy maybe 2 cans of it and was able to
Here it
use it for
goes.
everything I needed.
I think that is such a
It was
clever
great.
idea.
We also have another good idea is to reuse the packing peanuts that you get when you have packages shipped to you, which is a really good way of reusing them versus this.
Yeah, no,
Throwing
that's a
them
really
out.
good idea.
Okay, so you guys will notice that we have some curly willow in here as well. And this is a technique that I actually use on my live orchids. When I buy live orchids, is I will add the curly willow and take out those ugly stakes that they come with. So we did that with this as well. We went and purchased this just at a floral shop. So that kind of gives it a little bit more structure. And now I'm just going to rotate the heads of my orchids here so that they're, remember how it needs the one pointing up and then the 2 on the bottom. So that's the direction. That one looks like it's good. And here we have a full-on plant. Look at that. We have a 2-stem plant. It is so beautiful.
It's so pretty.
Now it's finished. So what do you guys
I
think?
know, I would keep this type of orchid in my house.
Yeah, would you? I
Yeah.
would too. And funny, this is the pot that I always used for my orchid when I would purchase one. I would probably purchase one about once a month.
Yeah.
And who knows where they come from? Maybe California, maybe somewhere in South America. So I feel like this is so much more sustainable.
It is, yeah.
And it's also, I mean, what a beautiful gift to give someone. So anyhow, all
Me,
right.
please. Give it to me, please.
You
I
want
want
it?
it.
I think this is going to be a hot
Yeah,
item
you
in
can
our
make one.
office. It might disappear. So, okay, so don't forget when you post your when you post your orchids this month, it's hashtag made with Leah and hashtag member make, and we are going to a lucky winner. We're
Yep.
going to send out one of each of these, and these will also be in our shop by mid next week. We're thinking they're already at the warehouse. We just have to get it set up on the site. And don't forget to check out our craft camp because those are going to fly out so fast. They're absolutely adorable. Great gift for the kids for Christmas, whatever you want to do. And we'll see you guys next month. And it sounds to me that we are
might be
doing a
it.
dahlia.
Yeah.
We need that challenge, so it's all good.
Yeah, it'll be great.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.
And make sure if you have any more questions, go ahead and put them in there. We'll keep an eye on it so we can answer your questions for you. Or you can also ask questions on the Facebook page. Okay,
Yeah.
talk to you later. Bye-bye,
Bye.
guys.